Hello, hi, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. We're going to do a really unusual reading today. I kept getting the message that I needed to do a past life reading, which I don't do very often. I do get past life messages sometimes spontaneously in readings, but I feel like there is something that many of you are going through now and healing from, and yet you don't have like the direct experiences really that have happened in this life, and or you have something that keeps happening and you're not sure where the root is, but I feel like this is being healed. But let's get a little insight on what your higher self wants you to know about past life, general situations. It's a general reading, so see what resonates for you. You'll know if it's your message, and always trust and follow that divine inner guidance in you, and try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition, so your decisions are sound and based in love and for the highest, greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's begin. I feel like we are going to do this in layers though, so let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. What is the foundational message from the collective's past life prominent to know about, to be helpful currently, please and thank you? Transportation. You have a big old train here, so movement. First thing I see is some of you were born in one country, and I actually see for some of you, because of maybe war or maybe a better chance, got the chance to completely transport where your roots were to, I'm getting a whole other country or a whole other part of the country, but I do feel like wherever you went to, you felt, I'm getting that you felt really out of place, whether it was all of a sudden you had to learn a new language or you looked really different from the people around you. I see like side eyes, like glances, like, who's that? I feel like in the past, wherever this is, it was more unusual to see somebody who was different than, the people that were in the town that were born there. So I do feel like some of you were in a situation where you did feel out of place. You felt judged, ridiculed. I do feel like you overcame something though. I feel like for some of you, you maybe not by everybody, but you did, I hear benefit. You found like a beautiful group of friends, maybe for some of you family. I actually did just get a little bit of Pocahontas and Captain Smith energy, where maybe you married somebody who was really different, and I do feel like maybe others around you did not agree with that union, but it didn't matter. I do feel like you and somebody were wholeheartedly in love with each other. Maybe for some of you, it was more of a Romeo and Juliet thing where you couldn't be together, even though the love was there. But I see friends. So I feel like for some of you, you had like pretty cool people around you that knew you were pretty awesome. For some of you, I feel like you were the one that was the friend that became really close to somebody who, moved from a faraway land to wherever you are. Like I keep seeing the Wild West. I keep seeing Asia. I keep seeing, I don't know why I see Paris and Greece. And I feel like for some of you, you may have owned a business, or you were more prominent and you were the person that maybe hired somebody because they had, I'm getting that whoever you hired, whoever, no matter how unusual they were and how many side eye glances they got, this person was skilled. Like if they came from a different place, I actually see somebody who either worked with metal or wood, some kind of creative thing. But I feel like whoever you hired, like your business or whatever it was, like flourished because who you were working with was better than anyone in your town. So maybe it started as a business partnership, but it became a friendship. It became somebody that you considered your family. But I feel like you had difficult moments where you really had to really be ballsy and stand up for this person against other people. Wow, interesting. How did I get all that from a train? For some of you, maybe you even did something with labor. You know, I see the people building the train tracks. Or I even see somebody working on a bridge. Wow, this, for some of you, you may have been married or had a family member. I'm actually seeing a child who worked on something. I'm even seeing like the skyscrapers early via New York City or something like that. But I keep seeing that bridge there. And I feel like maybe some of you had lost somebody due to an accident. I actually see somebody falling. I do feel like that was traumatizing to you. I see a coal mine now. Maybe some of you did something in a coal mine. A miner. I see the smoke, you know, on that train, and I'm thinking of the coal in the engine. I'm guessing that it's coal in the engine. And I do feel like there was something that maybe some of you, your life was short-lived because of your conditions of where you worked. I do feel like wherever you work, though, I'm still getting that core group of pretty amazing people around you. And I keep hearing a trade. Maybe you worked in a certain trade where I'm getting like you passed along that knowledge to your children or somebody else. And I feel like some of you did leave a legacy behind because of a skill that you had. I'm getting heavy apprentice energy where whatever you did, I just keep seeing like a blacksmith or something like that. I actually now see a farrier. Maybe some of you worked with horses. I feel like some of you even did something with a well. Whether you dug up a well or you had something to do with finding one. Yeah, I see somebody with like the sticks. That's actually a psychic skill. I guess it can be learned, but that's somebody who's extremely sensitive in their body. They still use dowsers now. And there are still dowsers who can find well water under the water even better than the devices. I actually met a dowser once. And he, both him, his father, and his grandfather, and probably beyond that, but that's all he told me about, were able to really just hold the sticks, and they knew when that had a different kind of energy, and they were accurate every time. Interesting. Maybe some of you were dowsers. Maybe that's why you're intuitive or psychic now. But I'm getting sensitivity to objects, but maybe some of you really do connect to water. I know this is a train, but now I just saw people on a ship. I'm not getting really like a captain of a ship. I'm getting like the workers on a ship. I actually see somebody like up on the sails, very, very like Prince Eric in The Little Mermaid. Maybe some of you were royalty too, since that came through. I feel like if you were royalty, you are not sitting on the throne though. I feel like if some of you, oh yeah, that's giving me goosies. My hair just stood up. Oh my goodness, if some of you were prominent in society or royal bloodline of some kind, you didn't like being inside. You didn't like being contained. You actually preferred to be with the commoners. Like you like to be out on an adventure. I don't know why I just saw like somebody actually dressing up like a commoner just so you can have like a night on the town, like be in the local pub. So people wouldn't like be all up in your business on who you were. Wow. Let's clarify some of, I want to go to the tarot. Let's go traditional. Let's do this one. Let's do the vintage tarot. That sounds appropriate. So what would be helpful to know? I didn't expect to get so much from that one card, but let's dive a little deeper and let's just see. Let's see what comes through. If any of those situations resonated, I feel like you're going to really know. I almost feel like your heart's going to skip a beat, or like you almost didn't catch your breath. I do feel like some of you are naturally connected to water. I also feel like some of you have a fear of heights. Maybe that is explaining why you just don't like to be up, or maybe even like being on a bridge. I'm getting a little bit of, because if you have fears that are coming through from a past life, it's coming through so you can heal from them, so you can overcome them, have an understanding of why it's rooted there, so that it's something you can face and like really have soul's growth. But that comes with like an inner knowing. I am getting, for some of you, you really don't like to be around anybody that's a smoker. Like it really, really bothers you. And I feel like that's maybe because you lost somebody who had lung issues, or that could have been you. I feel like, what am I getting? I do feel like for some of you, you've had this desire to travel, but you stopped yourself. Maybe because you didn't find that core group of people, and when you traveled, you felt like you were completely misunderstood. We're not in that time now. So if you have a place that you want to travel to, I feel like you get to be embraced. You get to experience another culture. And I kind of get that, where maybe a couple 100 years ago, even though you were the ballsy one to travel somewhere completely different where they spoke another country, now, instead of you being the foreigner or you being the weirdo in that place, you're going to go there and you're going to like turn heads. I actually feel like a lot of people are going to be attracted to you because you're different. You're the one that kind of stands out, and people are like, ooh, who is that? Like, so, you know, we are blessed to be in a different time period right now, where a lot of things that were prosecuted and ridiculed in other times, even not that long ago, are now seen as cool and accepted and embraced with an open mind. We still have a lot to change, but we're getting there. So let's just pull a couple cards and see what messages come through. Clarify transportation. Please and thank you. I do keep seeing a horse. Even though I'm staring at a choo-choo train, I keep seeing a horse. Maybe some of you have a fear of horses. Or I feel like you're more of you are connected to horses. I see somebody, if you had a fear of a horse, actually just by a beach with one of those like really cool like horses that just does anything you want. I don't know why I just heard Old Yeller. That's a dog. But where it's almost like, you know, that they mosey along the trail ride and they're held on someone, and maybe it's just getting on a horse that's like really chill, that actually like warms you up, totally breaks your fear. You actually really like it. Clarify transportation, please and thank you. What is a situation rooted from a past life, connected to what you are currently going through? You have the 6 of coins. So feeling imbalanced. I feel like this is that person. You know, when I saw somebody giving somebody a job, this is somebody who maybe recognized that somebody else had a skill but wasn't given an opportunity. If that's you and you were that person, you feel like that feels like your soul, you are amazing, because you are so different than the other people in your society for believing in someone. And I feel like that's why you prospered. I actually feel that's why people were pissed off at you, because you know, you weren't supporting the local ethnicity or the people there. You were supporting this other person, and then this other person was amazing, and they were an amazing person, whichever side of the coin you were on here. It took somebody pretty ballsy to give that person a chance. And it wasn't just about, you know, that they had the skill. It's that that person was ballsy to go against society. Good for you. Good job. I'm proud of you. So we have the 6. If you find that you are the one who is in philanthropy, I can never say that word right, philanthropy, I think I got that now, and you have this desire to always kind of be the good Samaritan, to even sometimes maybe in this life overgive to where you're not valued on how much time and attention that you've given. I feel like it's because you were in this situation in the past. I feel like you didn't have enough to give, even though you wanted to. I also feel like some of you were in the position where you had a beautiful blessing from somebody, even if it was just one gift, where somebody reached out and helped you out when you had nothing. And that made such a prominent impact on your soul, that just moment of love that you were gifted, that I feel like that touched your soul so deeply that you want to give back now. But one of the lessons you are probably learning is to see who is just looking for a handout, because that's one thing you have to notice, who is not valuing the love or time or attention or money, you know, because this person's actually given money out. You have to adjust that scale, because if there's one person you are overgiving to, or a group you are overgiving to, there is another group where it's not that they have to give back, it's that they have appreciation for what you give. Because I don't think you're looking to get anything back. I think you just want to be appreciated. And that's the gift that you get back. So it is probably recognizing your own value here. That is one of the things you are learning. And I am also getting a little bit of something else. Because we go through many different lifetimes and we learn many different lessons. Sometimes we are on that one side of the coin, and sometimes we are on the other side of the coin. Whether that's because it's a soul contract to help somebody else with a lesson, or it's something you needed to learn. I am kind of getting a stingy energy. Like that prominent, pompous, stingy, had plenty to give and did not give back. And I feel like that's getting to be adjusted. And I feel like if that's a stingy energy that maybe currently or I'm kind of getting in a recent life, kind of has this poverty either mentality or poverty kind of situation, I feel like that experience to see what it's like to not have anything actually brought a lot of growth, because I feel like whatever was a stingy energy or a, you know, I don't know why I keep hearing pompous. Like, I feel like somebody learned that lesson really fast, and I feel like that poverty mentality was changed very fast by somebody helping them out get, like, I'm getting like, get that job, or I'm getting that apprentice energy, even though this is not the apprentice card where they taught them something. So I feel like if you had a past life, or whenever this is, because right now time is all over the place for me, I feel like you didn't stay low too long. I feel like somebody did come through with that good heart and gifted you, where maybe in the past life you didn't do that for someone else, and that still was a big, huge lesson that you learned and actually got you off the ground, actually got you in a position of independence and support. And I feel like in that life, or in this life, you get to gift that to others who were not in a like a abundant position coming into this life. I don't think that it stayed that way. I hope that made sense. I didn't know what to expect with this reading. What else? Let's just get another card. If you guys like this reading, please let me know. If you like this style, because I don't think I've ever really done a whole past life reading. I have pulled these cards and I have had messages pop through, download out of nowhere, but I never really did it like this. So if you are enjoying this and you want me to do it again, let me know, and I will. Just leave a, leave a comment for me, or a thumbs up, just to let me know that this is something that you kind of groove with. This, I do feel like, just so you guys know, I have always been sensitive, but I have had moments in my life where my own past lives have come through really out of nowhere. Overwhelming. Like, I've had big moments. Should I even say this? One time I had a name, and I looked up the name, and I don't know, it's one of those moments where you wake up out of bed, because I usually get immediate insight when I'm not quite awake and not quite asleep. And I looked up the name, and I just read that name, and I literally felt this wave of energy go over my body where I didn't know what to do. And I ran to my sister's house and I started crying. And I said, I don't know what just happened. I just had like this, like I saw life. And I actually went to her bathroom sink and I puked. I shouldn't say that, out, but I mean, it was real. And I don't really know, but I know that experience was real. So, I don't know why I just shared that. It was really personal, but I've also had moments where some other totally different lives have come on in. And I also know that one of the themes that I have gone through personally is being prosecuted for being gifted, for being sensitive, and, receiving spiritual messages, because it's really only recently that it's accepted. There was many times, or different countries or whatever, where there were other countries where you could probably be a shaman and you were the one everybody went to. But there are also time periods where if you had a little bit of something weird, they burned you at the stake, and that's pretty serious. So if you have spiritual gifts now, look at what a blessing it is that you are gifted something where you can use that to help others, where you are gifted that guidance for your own life, where you are able to be in that deep introspection and direct connection to God to help you release anything from the past, to unfold into your destiny and what you can be, your soul's elevation. Move forward on smoother waters after lessons were learned. Leave heavy baggage on the shore. Ride in confidence with your uniqueness, what your soul has learned. Because no one's been through the experiences that your soul has. You know, even in this lifetime. This is the confidence to know that what's different about you is what makes you so freaking phenomenally special. You're not like anyone else. So the Queen of Wands is not comparing herself to anyone else. Queen of Wands is so confident with who she is that she wants to see others succeed. To be in that energy of joy. Whatever I said before about a core group of people around you that just loved you, whether it's this lifetime or another, value those people. Because when you all shine and sparkle together, even if individually you have your own uniqueness, vibration, whatever, but you feel supported by people, even if they're all different religions, all different personalities, all different styles, but together you vibe, embrace those moments. Be in those times where you can be celebrating. If you have people around you now and you are learning any kind of lesson that has to do with valuing yourself or knowing your truth, but you're around some people that you feel vibe funny, you know they're judging, you know their vibration is jelly, low energy or a low vibration, where they tend to shine shadow on others because somebody has what they don't have, or talking about others' issues or insecurities or faults makes them feel better somehow, because these are the gossipers, and that doesn't make you feel right. Use your confidence to separate yourself from that environment. Move along to smoother waters. Not be judgmental yourself. Just recognize that sometimes others don't know any better. They don't know anything outside their little circle. It looks like whoever this is has the enthusiasm, the creativity, the capacity, the willingness, the drive, the ambition to pave their own path, move their own way, bring the people along they vibe with, leave the baggage on the shore, pick up the anchor, and also, with confidence, navigate any kind of stormy situations that come into the future because of what you got to go through in the past. You got the Queen of Wands. I am seeing that also the Queen of Wands has a cat. I did mention like Old Yeller before, so maybe now a cat and a dog. But cats are very in tune to the spiritual world. So are dogs. I do feel like some of you do connect to animals. I actually feel like some of you have the gift of animal communication. Maybe if that interests you, that is something you could look up, because I do feel like some of you could have, I actually just heard a good business, but if you have a natural communication with animals, where animals are just kind of cool around you, if you get images from animals, or you feel like you can even feel their emotions. Animals do not communicate with words, even though they can understand words. They communicate via picture and emotion. So let's just say you want to communicate. I'm just giving you a little, little insight. I feel like if this is you, you need to dive down that rabbit hole yourself. I'm just kind of like the catalyst here. But let's just say you want to communicate for your dog to be the horse, or your horse to go and drink the water. You have a vivid picture of the horse going and drinking the water, and you feel the water going down your throat and nourishing your body, and how good it feels. And, all the things moving in the body better. Like, you have to picture that scenario with the emotion, and that's closer to how animals communicate. I'm just going to leave that there, because, I feel like that's a natural gift some of you have. But, you know, psychic gifts need to be practiced. You can have it naturally, but you can practice something more and more to see which style. You know, some people are clairaudient, clairvoyant. Usually you're a combination of many, but sometimes you have one or two that are prominent. But I feel like some of you can, like, you have it in you, you've done it before, but I'm getting that you were, ridiculed, you know? People projected their weirdness to you, and you were prosecuted because of something that you had naturally. So I feel like even if that was in childhood and you were born into a family that didn't really embrace your imaginary friend, or the way you had an interesting dream that happened to come true, or, you know, the way that you kind of knew things before they happened, or how you even energetically felt in groups, or your mother took you to a thrift store and all of a sudden you like got overwhelmed and they were like, no, just come here, we have to stay there. They weren't understanding that you were sensitive to those energies. If that wasn't embraced, I feel like you are gaining a lot of strength and you are gifted the opportunity now, where in the past, what was shut down, or possibly what you shut down because of what you went through, you are now getting to open up, believing in yourself and trusting you will connect to the right people that you can open up to. Maybe it's not the people around you. Maybe that's one of the groups you can join. I also feel like with this Six of Swords here, maybe there's a certain person that once you open up to, you might be pleasantly surprised that this could be a person that has had some cool psychic things happen to them as well. I hear neutral, and I feel like it's not about religion. It's about the intention of the heart. It's not about the tool that you use. A tool is just a tool. A sword is just a sword. You know, you can do surgery, or you could make a stew. It's the intentions behind who holds the object. So I am getting, for some of you, you might have a family that's religious, and they look at the cards, they're like, no, that's bad. Tarot's bad. These are just cards. They're just pictures, you know? Don't try to force someone to believe something that they're not into. That's not their lesson. But sometimes having that dichotomy of energy against you, or that doesn't believe in it, is what you needed friction-wise to stand up in this personal power for yourself, and to know your own truth, and to get to see the other perspective, which is going to be more valuable than not. I hope that made sense. I feel like if some of you have people that didn't understand you, they will come around, and if they don't, the right people will. That might be who has a lot to say. This could also be you observing a group without getting involved. This could be you really curious about a certain person. This could be your curiosity that you need to take a little farther. So you move this page's energy into, I hear professional, because it's just the little page. They're curious, but they don't know a lot. Page of Swords can be a nosy pants. It can be a know-it-all that knows nothing. So, you know, if somebody is a know-it-all or a gossip, you know, or this is sometimes somebody who's a little bit sneaky. They sit on the sidelines and they wait. But that could also be somebody who's brilliant and bright, and they wait till the right time to make their move because they're not really confident on going into that situation quite yet. The page can be a younger energy that has a lot of potential. It's a smart cookie. You know, this is This is somebody who has the potential to be the valedictorian, but not if they only read the Cliff Notes. So let's do something a little different. Let's go to the place. I actually only pulled one card from that past lives deck. So if you guys are interested in me doing another reading, there's a whole deck of cards there. It might be a whole other scenarios that come through. So let's get a place. Let's see. What is a place that would be helpful? That connects to a past life or maybe prominent in your world today. That flip? No. Wow, guess what came through? Guess what came through? I hope you guys like this reading because I am enjoying it. And if you connect to it, I would like to do more of these. So whatever message I said before about that bridge, and now I'm getting my goosies. When I get big messages, my hairs stand up. I actually get a rush through my body. Even though I don't have much hair, it still stands up. So you got a bridge, connecting pathway, overcoming divides. Maybe this is a bridge from your past life to your current one. Finishing a cycle, catapulting on a new spiritual path. Maybe some of you are connected to a bridge or live by a bridge. Water under the bridge. Going with the flow. Getting across a situation you didn't think you'd ever get to, or a person you thought disconnected from. Maybe that bridge is going to come through. That connection is going to be made. Let's get another one. What is another place? Please and thank you. A laboratory. Scientific research. I actually see some of you as, I want to say if you were in the past and you were out in the garden putting herbs together, and that was one of the things that people thought was weird because you were trying to put some herbs together to give to your child that had the sniffles, and you had some weirdo in the town that was like, oh no, they're a witchy poo putting some herbs together. It's like, nah, dude, you just knew that when you had a headache, you go to I don't know why I saw slippery elm with the throat, but the headache is the willow tree. The willow. It's like the original aspirin, but if you had one weirdo that pointed out in the town, then maybe your potions were just medicine. Maybe now you're a scientist. Maybe now you're putting like molecular formulas together, and it's such a different thing that you can accomplish. I do feel like for a lot of you, this laboratory is more natural things. I feel like you're looking for, I'm getting like naturopath, where maybe you're analyzing stuff in a laboratory, but I kind of feel like it has to do with earth, where you recognize anything that they have stems somewhere in earth. Earth has everything we need, but maybe you're combining something. Scientific research, experiments, analysis, innovation, and invention. That's pretty big. That was like a bang from outside. Maybe that was a big bang. Maybe there's some of you who are going to really come up with something that's really helpful for people. Healing. I just feel like there's a lot more things that we have, that we know, that are healing and unfortunately not allowed out. I'm just going to say that. So maybe this is you really doing some of your own research. I'm kind of getting many, many, many different resources, not just from the one that has the biggest mouth or the biggest bank account. That was a really weird thing to see. I hope that made sense to some of you. Because now I see that, I saw the airport before, or a plane. You see a plane flying? Maybe some of you did something on the ground, and now you're not driving a train, you're flying a plane. That's the same thing though. Travel hub, transportation, departure, arrival, and airport lounge. Maybe some of you did have a fear of heights. You have that bridge. Maybe getting on a plane causes you a lot of anxiety. Maybe you're gonna get over that. Maybe if a plane still is not your thing, that freaks you out, maybe you take a train or a boat. Let's get one more. You have travel and transportation. I also feel like, just because this is a past life reading, if any of you have like a really strong connection to any place in the world, anything that just kind of like you feel it, go there and see how you feel when you step off the plane or off the boat or off the train, you know, or out of the car, and see how you feel when your feet are on that earth. Because I do feel like some of you are going to, I feel like your soul needs to connect to that specific place in earth, and it's going to instantly bring something back. Something will make sense. You'll have an instant connection with that place. Or it could be healing something. If that's a place that you lived a life at in a past, you're going to know it. Also, something that's happened to me. I've gotten off the plane and gone to a place and instantly like had the most vivid dreams, like vivid dreams, to the point where I was completely overwhelmed. I couldn't go back to sleep. Days and days where I dreamt of the location I was in, and I hadn't even gone around to see what was there yet. And they weren't like the normal dreams. They were the vivid ones where you really feel like you wake up and that was the real world and you don't know where you are right now. Those kind of dreams. So, but maybe that is you getting to connect to one of your past lives that will heal something. Or maybe it's just a really cool dream. Let's get one more. Museum. Well, we're doing a past life reading. Maybe for some of you, that's your key. I love that that came through. I love that that came through. Do you have a place in the world? Is there a specific wing of the museum you've been to, whether it was a kid or you live in, you know, a big city, and you just look at the artifacts? Oh, I'm getting goosies again. Go to a museum. If you don't, you know, maybe you don't think any of this is really connecting to you, but you're still here, so thank you. But maybe take a day. That's a good day to have. I can get lost in a museum for a whole day. That's like the best date ever. Because I'm a dork. I'm a dork and I want to go to the museum. But maybe you're going to see something. Maybe you made it in a past life and you just can't stop looking at it. You ever see the people that also see paintings and you're like, oh my God, that looks like me. Like it really looks like the person. Maybe you're going to see yourself. Maybe you just connect to a time period or a place in the world. And maybe that's the little catalyst that you need, you know, to bring out some connections or answers inside of you. Maybe it's just a good day at the museum. It's artifacts, exhibits, interactive displays. Ooh, that's a fun museum. That's like the special like butterfly exhibit that they have. And museum collections. Maybe if some of you just have a natural affinity or connection with the past, architecture, even a trade. I keep getting that trade, like a certain skill that's kind of weird that you don't just kind of go to school for. It's probably because it's in your soul you've done it. If any of you do a skill and you do it one time, you take a class and you're like, wow, I'm really good at making pottery. Or, you know, I'm really good at lapidary, you know, carving stones. Or I'm really good at building a house. I just know how to put the pieces of wood together. It is probably something that you have excelled in as a skill in another life. And maybe you're going to excel even farther in this one. So let's get you, since we're big, you hear that banging? All right, we're going to go out with a bang, I guess. Let's get a message from the universe for you. What is a message from the universe for the collective to be helpful? Please and thank you. All right, let's see what your final message is. It's never too late to start over. You have to trust in the magic of new beginnings. They are waiting for you. Notice them, seize them, and appreciate all that you have. Just relax and trust. Maybe some of you are stalling on forward movement because you're more comfortable with what you know. Maybe this new beginning is a new feeling inside of you. It's a new chance. Relax into the experience. Let's get an angel number. So the numbers that came through here today were 6, 6, and 3. What is one angel number? Please and thank you. '20 strength. 2020. Resilience, courage, inner power, determination, fortitude, and endurance. Draw on your inner strength during challenging times. Your resilience can lead to personal growth. Stay focused, remain open-minded as you navigate each step of your journey. In what areas of your life do you need to harness inner strength? How can you stay resilient and focused despite challenges? And identify one challenge. Take on that challenge you are currently facing and create a plan to address it. Yeah, you're facing something head on. You're looking at that hurdle and deciding to jump over that sucker. Remind yourself of we have a past life reading, your past successes where you've overcame difficulties and draw strength from those experiences. And with this, I bid you adieu. I feel like that was our reading. I hope it was helpful. I love you so very much. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for being part of my soul family, blessing my life, and on this journey with me. I love you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.